And let me just say this from a pastor's perspective. From the inside, okay? Pastors, they will never say this, but they pride in manipulation.
Fool's back. I do not believe in taking a rod to your son's back, but I do believe there's people within our world that could definitely use a rod to their back. I do not believe in taking a rod to your son's back. These people are fools. Why? Because the foolishness was not driven out of them with the rod of correction by the parents. So you know what? They get the blueness of the wound. They get the stripes.
I do not believe in taking a rod to your son's back.
Foolishness was not driven out of them with the rod of correction
By the parents.
He got up in his church just recently and was like rating my wife from the pulpit and calling her an Alabama 7, maybe a 2 or 3, commenting on her eyebrows and looks. Folks, her ugliness is artificial. Her disgustingness is in her personality. It's in who she is. It's in what she stands for. It's in her demeanor. She was not born that way, but yet look at what she is today. Feminism does that type of thing to people. And the Bible doesn't tell us how this young prophet reacted, but I think the first thing I'd have done is went and punched that guy in the face. Why did you lie to me? I'm telling you, these women too, they ought to be taken out and they ought to be horsewhipped. They ought to be taken like John Wayne, and you ought to take one of them metal pans and take it to their backside like he did to Maureen O'Hara. That kind of thing needs to happen like that. You know what ought to happen to wife beaters? They should get pulled out in the public square and they should get an extension cord taken to their back. I'm telling you, these women too, they ought to be taken out and they ought to be horsewhipped. Be horsewhipped. Be horsewhipped. I think the first thing I'd have done is went and punched that guy in the face. Why did you lie to me? Okay? I want to egg some people's houses in this town. I really do. Okay? But I'm not going to do it. You know how bad that's going to look if I get caught as a pastor of this church out egging houses? But you know what? If I was scummy enough to actually make it happen, I've been tempted a few titimes, I'm not going to go do it. But I guarantee you, if I went out there and I go find some druggy looking kids and I gave them $20 and several cartons of eggs, I'll bet they do it for me. Hey, here's $20. Here's a bunch of eggs. You go get this done, show me some pictures of it, and I got 20 more for you. That's what I would do. I'm not going to get my hands dirty.
I'm not going to get my hands dirty.
There are still some people out there today, I am not one of these people, who are very good at putting things to words in a way that causes you to think, in a way that's very instructive. I am not one of these people. It's one of those things where the person who doesn't have kids or only has one kid or something like that, I'll say there's some gray there. I'm much more critical of him continuing to pastor than I would be of like somebody if they ordained you to pastor, because it's like, well, it might be questionable, because a really good way to test this guy is if he's, how he's ruling his house and he doesn't have any children, so we don't know. But we also don't, so we don't know if he's good. This other guy, though, he's proven he's bad. The clip is from the Young Turks. Now, the Young Turks, I absolutely do not endorse the Young Turks. If you actually want to find out and understand what's actually going on in Israel, you would be more likely to learn facts from them than you will from any of the other news sources that are saying things that you want to hear.
I would legalize bestiality.
Hey everyone, Pastor Tommy here. Just want to do a quick damage control.
Like, why are you blessing me? Do you realize what I'm trying to get people out of your church? Do you realize what I'm doing is contrary to what you believe and what you promote? Why are you encouraging me right now? You should be cussing me out. I don't want to keep talking about this. The Lord has really been blessing in our church, and I want to stay concentrated on what's going on here, because this is the work the Lord gave me to do. The internet stuff, it's a side thing, it's a hobby, and I don't want it to take over. I don't want it to consume too much of my life. I would rather talk about the book of Hebrews.